All right, so welcome back. So we had some technical issues. So we have Jeremy and Alyssa from Outdoor Wicked Adventures.
Hello.
What's up?
We have Chris from Rigging for Fatties.
What's up, everybody?
So I got it right 2 times in a row this time.
Hey.
There you go.
All right, so Jeremy and Alyssa, you want to talk about a little bit about your channel and what you guys got going on?
Yeah, so we have Oops is mine. Oh, that's mine.
There you go.
Oops.
Man, I love that episode. When right behind you guys right now, I'm just staring, watching her catch another fish
Oh,
again.
that tiny
Oh
pole.
my gosh. That was probably one of the most amazing things that happened to me this summer.
That was a great video.
Oh my gosh. Because I really thought I had the state record carp in that video. I was
Yeah,
like, oh my gosh. But I'll take a blue cat any day. So
Yeah, nice one like that one. That was in
everyone.
that video.
We're listening to Jeremy from Outdoor Wicked Adventures. And we pretty much travel all over the country fishing for different species of fish and showing you guys what we do. And we don't just fish, we hunt, we camp, we hike.
I hike.
Hike. Jeremy hikes.
She only likes to hike if there's a destination to fish.
Oh, it's rough.
I hear that.
I'm like, oh. But we just keep learning new things every year. And kayak fishing, that was like my newest thing that I fell in love with. So that's an expensive hobby.
To start.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
I'm finding out about, but so much
I mean, that's
fun.
pretty much everything with fishing.
It is. But I'm really bad at like getting hooked onto something and then being obsessed with it. Like when bow fishing happened and I first learned that, I was like, bow fishing, bow fishing, bow fishing. Like
Mushroom hunting.
mushroom hunting. I did like
She
go
made me walk like
crazy.
10 miles a day right after.
That's like hiking to me. If you're hiking, you better be mushroom hunting. So
And they taste so good too.
No,
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's true. You could cook them with everything.
yeah, we dehydrated a bunch. I think
Yeah,
we just
we did.
finished ours a couple months ago.
So we need to get ready. I have a map. Like I made a map last year of where I'm gonna start. Like the second they start popping, I know where I'm gonna start. It trails across 3 states.
Holy cow.
I'm gonna get myself
geez.
some mushrooms to last the whole year.
You're going to go across 3 states to collect mushrooms, and it's going to last the
Yes.
weekend?
No, it's gonna last the year. It better not
I
last
would-
the weekend. It's from like a party.
I mean,
Like-
they're good enough for that, though. You know, I could probably do the same
Oh
thing
my
just for the weekend
gosh.
alone. Oh,
Oh, so good. But yeah, hopefully get enough for the year. We didn't quite make it through last year.
that's
you go
one
mushroom
thing I've
hunting-
always wanted to try and do, but I have no idea how to find them, where to go for them. You know,
Yeah.
I hear everybody all the time, you know, and I see a mushroom, I'm like, is this one safe? That one safe?
Oh,
I
you're going.
don't even
this
know, so I go to the grocery store.
So we had a buddy that told us where they were finding a bunch of mushrooms, but he left out a very important detail. He rode bikes to it, so we got out there and we didn't have bikes, so we ended up having to walk 5 miles just to get to the area
just to get in.
find mushrooms.
The heck?
Thanks for letting me know you rode bikes down there.
Hey, you said you like hiking.
One of us does.
I prefer like the scenic hiking, like the Badlands is cool, and then the Black Hills is really cool, but
Oh, yeah.
walking through Nebraska woods isn't that exciting.
Well, in some of your guys' videos, you know, it really actually did look like it, though. I mean, how many times did you guys find something just randomly that was really cool that you normally wouldn't see otherwise? So,
Yeah.
That is true. When we come across couple different deer skulls and
That-
the
So we-
vulture.
Yeah, we went mushroom hunting on this island down in Kansas that's on Tuttle Reservoir. We wanted to see if there's any mushrooms on. We didn't find any mushrooms, but we found a dead vulture. It was like freshly dead. And so I just pinned it on a map on Google Maps. And then we were out there that following winter. And I was like, let's hike and see if it's there. And we followed it exactly to that pin and found the whole skeleton.
Yeah, really cool.
It's kind of neat. I mean, it's a bird of prey and they're protected, so you can't do anything with it, but it's cool to see.
Mhm.
So you guys got some more plans on Texas coming up.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah, yep.
These videos you got coming out recently here have been very good.
That is all.
Now
This.
I had a blast. Oh my
They
gosh.
just get better. Like this one that she just put out, like it's just the build up for what the next two videos are. The next two videos are really good.
Yeah. So I was like,
You definitely
looking
made
up-
that first one, nothing but traveling down. Then you finally get down there.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh,
like-
isn't that so funny?
Well, yeah, but I mean, most of the time you see those travel videos and it's just like either it's this full on just kind of, you know how it is traveling and how
Yeah.
boring it is, honestly. But then you watch that and it was like, oh, that actually looked kind of fun, interesting. You
See,
made
and
it,
I do have a lot of fun. And like I've always like when I first started traveling, it was like back 3 years ago, probably when I
Mhm.
started going to Alabama. And like I had to. It was a 13-hour trip. I couldn't fly all the time because I wanted to take my gear with me. And so I had to kind of make it part of the adventure. Like this was before YouTube, this was before anything, but in order for me to like not make it feel like work, I had to like make the travel a journey itself. And then since we started YouTube, it's just progressed since then. Because I think there's so many things that make up, that whole trip was like, for one, a blessing that I got to even go. And here in Nebraska, it's so cold. We're into ice fishing, Chris. And
Oh, yeah.
gosh, just the other day I was out on the ice and it was like 6 inches thick. Like it's cold. So it was nice to get that trip, not only to get away from the cold, and I also got some mom time, like away from kids, and got to meet some new friends. And then I also got like 6 videos out of it. So, which is not an often occurrence. You know how hard it is. Like you guys are out there for days sometimes and you get nothing. I was lucky enough to get like 6 really pretty good videos that all lead up into this like epic Texas trip. So I'm pretty blessed that we were able to do that and meet Mallory, of course. Like how many times do you get to meet someone who's on Naked and Afraid and like pick their mind about it,
Yeah.
Like
That's
yeah,
crazy.
and of course I'm like, so like, how is it being naked? Like, because I'm like, come on, like what? She's like, girl, that is the least of my worries out there. I'm like, oh my gosh, is it tough? And she's like, it was, because I was like, like coming from someone who like loves the outdoors so much, like, did you just like love it? And she was like, I love that I could do it. She's like, but it was rough. Like it was rough for someone who even loves the outdoors. So it was cool to pick her brain about that and, just kind of learn even more and more. And it was super neat seeing some of the stuff. Like she has a minnow trap, and the first time I had made a minnow trap was with Jeremy in Arkansas. We put out a little video on that, and we made them out of 2-liter bottles.
Mhm.
Well, she had like the same concept. She still had this in her home, but she had made it out of like vines and stuff. And showing me, she was like, you don't even know what you'll do when you're hungry. I was like,
Yeah.
that's so cool, like all this stuff. So just being able to get to hang out with her for a couple days was like super cool, just in itself. So
That is cool. And yeah, when you were talking the being out there naked, and that was the least she was worried about. I mean,
Oh
shoot,
my
we went
gosh.
out
Well,
fishing
then,
that
like,
one night, and we had mosquitoes destroying us.
oh
man.
my god.
We had clothes, we had everything covered up. I don't even want to imagine what she was doing.
Like, and like the mountain lion popped up on you. Like they had a mountain lion like walk by their tent. Like the shit gets real.
Yeah, we don't speak of that big cat anymore. That's something I don't ever want to see again.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Well, then it's crazy because she's saying, so we all know how hard editing is and how long, I could go out for a day, film a video. It might take me 3 days to edit it, if I really want to make a good video. She's like, as much as the show's called Naked and Afraid, she's like, for editing purposes, they kind of want you to cover up as much as possible. She's like, they literally have a blur team. And I was like, oh my gosh, I could only imagine like an editing team for just blurs on a show like that. Like, I'm like, that's just wild. I couldn't even imagine the editing. It goes, I'm like, shoot, I edit a 3-minute video and it takes me like 2 hours.
Oh yeah. And then you're your own biggest critic and everything else too. So you nitpick every little thing before you ever put it out.
Right.
You could look at one thing that literally doesn't make, it doesn't
Then you
make the video. It
see it.
doesn't do anything, but because you see it each time, you're like, oh, man, what can I do to do something about
you're
that?
like you're watching this clip 20 or 30 times, so it's never good enough by the time it's done because you're just sick of watching it.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if I caught some of the big fish you guys got this last year, because you guys had a heck of a year. Monster after monster after
Blessed
monster.
this year.
Yeah.
That was,
Yeah.
knock on wood. I don't want to jinx that one, but it was weird. We focused a little bit more in our home state this year, I feel, or last year. And it paid off because we caught some Missouri River giants.
Mhm.
But I think this year we're kind of going back to that year one where we spent a little bit more time outside of our state with different species. And then I'm sure it'll go back to catfishing the year afterwards.
It's always hard to leave like Nebraska area once it gets to September because I just love fishing on the river September, October, November. The fish
Oh,
are just
yeah.
so good on the Missouri River that time of year. And like the pattern doesn't really change much until it gets really cold, so you could pretty much catch them pretty easy. So
Yep.
but yeah, we definitely want to focus on some other species. Like I really, really want to get up and catch some lake sturgeon up in Wisconsin. So that's a goal this spring. I know we really want to go after the white sturgeon, but let me test my skills out on 80-pound sturgeon before I go after a 300-pound sturgeon.
I could do it. I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we're gonna go do some coastal fishing when we go to Texas in February. Of course, we have the tournament series. We got 4 events this year, not pending approval, so we won't talk too much about that yet. But those are always a good time. That's always
I was
nice.
gonna
Because, like the fellowship, like.
Mhm.
Year one, I wasn't a fan. It was like a little rough on me. There was a lot of like drama and cattiness, and yes, cattiness in the catfish tournament world. Can you imagine that?
Mhm.
But
And we're all competitors, Once you get into that, it's
but after we got past like some stuff in year one, man, this past year was awesome. This year's gonna be even better. I really gravitated towards like cooking at the weigh-ins and like pretty much just giving everybody like an awesome time. Like everyone's just gonna take up your weekend. You're spending your hard-earned money. Like let's have a fun event out of this. Let's have a cookout. Let's camp. Let's fish. Let's do all the outdoor things we love together. Without the cattiness and the BS. So. Yeah, it's been awesome. Cattiness, cat fisherman.
Well, when you bring that good food like you do in all your videos, I mean, The cattiness doesn't, stick around too long. It's just like,
Kind of melts away.
Oh no, I was watching
God.
Terry's most recent video. He
Right.
made me want to go beer batter some stuff up.
Oh, Soul Guy fishing.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, we need to go to Arkansas, go striper fishing so we can get our beer batter on, have a fish fry. Yeah, definitely we'll hit up Arkansas again this year. That's the place
We're
to
stopping
go.
there on the way down to Texas to fish with him for a little bit. So we'll see if we catch some striper.
Striper.
Make Chris eat it.
the what?
Say make you eat some fish.
Yeah, right. Good luck to you. I love catching them, but I don't like eating them. There's
Yeah,
just
I mean, she's
something
not the
about it.
biggest fan of fish. Like,
Yeah.
you can't eat it all the time, but
Yeah, I don't eat it all the time. Now deer, like give me some deer or some hog.
Yep.
That all the time. But yeah, well, especially like once you catch a spoonbill and you like get some of that white meat, you're like, catfish, what? Like, you're like, man, you'd catch one of these and get just a load of meat for the year. And it's like so clean and fresh. It's great. So,
And that's what they say, wherever though too, is it's either you love it or you hate it when it comes
Yeah.
down to that spoonbill. And
yeah.
everybody says that too. And it's
And it's
just,
a lot on how you clean it too, because you could get some of that bad meat in there and it don't taste
Mhm.
good.
I can definitely say I've tried them all, and spoonbill was one of the better ones to me.
and I think it's
that
the
one.
texture. Like, I will never
Yeah.
tell anyone it tastes like chicken. Like,
Mhm.
it doesn't taste like chicken because it's not, it's fish. So it tastes like fish. But the texture is more hearty, like
Yep.
chicken. Same with stripers, same with redfish. I think that's why I like all those because they're a heartier texture that kind of holds up a little bit better. Catfish does too. Catfish holds up pretty good though. But
Give
like,
me
I really
tuna.
like
I'll eat a
the
tuna.
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 It does
Like,
not
no,
taste like fish. It is like the only thing that does not taste like fish. I do not mind it.
The
real
ahi
tuna,
tuna.
canned tuna.
Oh, tuna!
Do you
Just
like the tuna steaks?
oh yeah.
And do you just
I
like
love
sear
tuna.
it or do you cook it? How do you cook it?
Yeah, just sear it, or depends on where you go and everything though too. I can go to
I'm
any
like,
place
because
and I
I
can
would
eat
always
tuna.
like just sear mine barely. Like take a ahi tuna fillet,
Mhm.
right? And then I would like pepper the shit out of it, like pepper that hard pepper on all of it, and then just sear it and then slice it super thin so it was raw. So Jeremy wouldn't eat it, but it was like pretty much raw. And then I made a beer mustard sauce to dip it in, and it was delectable.
See, I told you all we would get a recipe out of Alyssa.
Yes, that's good.
Oh my gosh, love it. That is my like that's what I fell in love with before fishing was the outdoors camping and the cooking outside and the fending for yourself. Then I
Oh
fell in
man.
love with the fishing.
Well, when you got that nice big boat and everything else too, and it's set up like a whole camper as it is, that makes it.
It does make it a little bit easier to stay out there long weekends.
Oh, yeah.
That it
Our
does.
first trip out, getting to roll out with you guys, and I'm just sitting in my kayak, and I rolled up, and you made those hamburgers, which were amazing.
Oh my
But I
gosh.
saw the whole setup in the boat. I went to the other side of the river and pouted a little bit before I ate that.
Oh my gosh. We felt
That's
so
why you
bad
left.
that night.
That's
No,
why you left us, and then
that's-
I caught that 83-pound fish.
oh my gosh. That was the night that you slept in your kayak. And I was like, after being in a kayak now, I'm like, no. No.
You get used to it. Get used to
No.
it.
What?
Me and Terry were gonna go out and do that, and we were gonna have some fun with it this year, but all those storms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Terry, I mean, you still got that, new PB right before the storms. And how many,
Yeah.
what we,
And then I hightailed it back to Ohio.
yeah. I didn't even tell you,
my
Terry, when
gosh.
I was driving north from there after our trip, I had a tornado right behind me, though, too. Did I?
Well, it's fun
Oh
'cause
my gosh.
on the way
We
home,
literally just got out of there in time. We were getting held on, rained on hard, but yeah, just 2 tornadoes, whatever came down right through that whole area we were in. We just beat it out too.
Yeah, we
Well, yeah,
had
'cause-
one this year. We were delivering stuff to a tournament for a buddy, and some storms started. And like I'm watching because I have I like storm chasing too, so I have all these different weather apps on my phone, and I'm watching what it's doing. You can tell it's building up, but it didn't look like a tornado yet. And Alyssa's like, "There's a tornado." I was like, "It's not showing," and I'm looking at my phone, and she's like, "Just look out there," and the clouds are like going.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sky. I don't give a damn about your phone. I'm looking at the sky and it is twirling in a pattern like my fan. No, you didn't need no phone to tell me get the hell out of there. Then I said, which way are we going? And everyone's like, we'd go that way. I go into the lake. Like, what the hell? Like, what? Oh my gosh, that is terrifying.
Oh yeah. Well, when did you come down, Terry? You came down literally that evening where we had all the tornadoes hit just north of Omaha.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was one of the worst.
that was
Yeah.
when
Yeah,
Yeah,
that,
and then the next
F5
day.
hit
Yep.
Elkhorn.
yeah.
Yeah, I got there
that
that
one on
morning.
pictures.
Yeah, you should have seen him when we were out there fishing on the river. This guy's relying on me, who is always last second to leave. Watching the clouds, and when the clouds are going, each one's going like this. They're literally just
Yeah.
crossing from one side to the other side.
You're like, well,
And he's like, "Should we be getting moving? Should we be getting going?" Yeah, you can pack your stuff up, but we should be okay for a little bit longer. Not even 30 seconds later, we started getting downpoured on.
Downpour, and that was the longest 2-hour drive in soaking wet clothes I ever had.
no.
I just remember
Sorry, Terry.
I was like, I'm just gonna turn on the radio, see if they say anything on the radio. I don't know what road I was on, but they said if you're a mile marker 170 to 165, seek shelter because the tornado's coming down that way. I looked, I was at mile marker 168. And I'm like, it's time to go.
No.
I like Florida, like I'm out of here.
I was
like
wondering why you went right when I went left, on the one road.
Because you didn't feel like getting dead today.
Yeah, he's running away from it, and that's what I'm saying. I saw a tornado behind me. Where's Terry?
And I also found out Nebraska doesn't like rest areas. I was looking for a rest area so bad when it got sunny. I was like, I ain't changed out these wet clothes, and I could not find a rest area along the interstate.
You'll find the ones that you can park at, but there's no building.
We got a lot of tornadoes. There used to be a building.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely want to hit up Western Nebraska, hopefully this year a bit more than we did last year.
Oh yeah, you guys' videos going out there and the trouts and everything else. Those are so cool.
So much fun.
I wish trout videos did better.
Yeah.
The ones up in ones out there don't do as bad, but catching the stalker trout around here, they don't get the views. But
yeah.
I love catching trout.
Which is crazy to me because I think they're so pretty, and that is a video I would watch is people catching trout. But
yeah, I like watching those, but when you guys did your video out there, and where were you guys when you were doing just pretty much landscape? It was more landscape than anything. It wasn't fishing, but you guys saw some of the coolest things, though.
Where was that? We saw the elk.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you had the elk and
that was Colorado.
Was that Colorado?
Yeah, and then we were chasing a moose and.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why am I chasing a moose? That's stupid.
Yeah, dumb idea. That's a good way to get dead too.
They're only the most dangerous animal in North America, but you know.
Idiot.
Luckily, like I'm already fat, and then you get the elevation too. I was out of breath. Like, so
Whatever. I'm tired, yes.
See, I've always used that excuse too. It was just my padding, you know. I could take a blow. I got the padding.
Whatever. I'm tired of you. It's okay. I'm in the car crying because I'm scared of heights. So it's
oh
fine.
man, that was horrible. When we were driving over the mountain in Colorado, she was like in a full-on panic attack, crying. I'm like, either way I go, it's still a cliff. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Like I needed to call my mom because I was gonna die.
So I was like, we're just gonna keep going forward.
I'm like, why would they make these windy roads and there's no railing? This is horrible.
I hear you. I don't mind heights, but ledges, and when you're constantly on a road and looking down, you're constantly driving on a ledge. Yeah,
What
that
are
scares
you
the
doing?
crap out of me too.
Yeah, the plus side in the Black Hills is there's so many trees that you really don't see the ledges that you're right next
Yeah.
to. So she didn't notice it.
No,
when we were
Black
there.
Hills was great.
But yeah, in Colorado, once you start getting to the top of the mountains, there's no trees and there's no railing, and it's just straight drop.
Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the dumbest thing. Whoever drives on these roads is dumb. I'm not never doing this again. So it's
I
gonna
know.
be a long ride when we go to Colorado next because we gotta drive around some mountain. Or give me some, what's that? Dramamine? Oh, I don't do heights.
So what you're trying to say is you're going to go do some fishing videos in Nevada, and then eventually make it around the mountains.
I'm like,
Yeah,
What
because
is
once we
it? It's
got,
all the way south Nevada, isn't it? Or just to get out, just
yeah,
south of them?
yeah. Because once
Yeah.
we got to the top of the mountain, like the other side of the mountain was more gradual and not as scary for her.
yeah.
So when we left, we literally drove around the mountain instead of going back over.
Yeah, we did. And it's great because you got to see a moose and make friends with them.
Oh, and then the bikes and everything. See, that's the thing. You guys, some of your guys' videos just coming out, you know, it's not all about the fishing and everything else. You're literally showing the whole side of the outdoor, you know,
Adventure.
add in
It's
that wicked and
realistic.
everything, and it does. It's, you know, it's so cool.
Yeah, and that was always my goal. Like when me and her started doing this together, I always told her like I don't want to make it about the fish because the fish don't always cooperate. So we gotta make it about the
No.
adventure, and the fish is just included in the adventure when it happens. So, because
It was rough though when you first had to change the name.
yeah.
You had a rough time with
So
it.
when I first started YouTube, I started it with Wicked Whiskers, which is the tournament series I run, and I wasn't like taking it serious. I posted like 4 videos in like 9 months. And then I thought about picking it up again, and I wasn't sure. And then she was talking to me about how people tell her she should do YouTube, but she doesn't want to like do the filming and editing. And I was like, well, we'll try.
Yeah,
We'll try to do
jokes
it.
on me.
We'll try to do a video. We'll try to do a video together. And we did our first video together, and she liked it enough that she kept coming back and doing it. And that was before we were even a couple, so it kind of brought us close together. And then we met with Charles, the Meat Hunter Rods. And he suggested that we got away from the like whisker side if we actually planned on fishing for all kinds of stuff, doing all kinds of outdoor stuff. He's like, don't pigeonhole yourself to catfishing. And that's when we decided to change the name. We changed the name. It has even like in February it'll be 2 years since we changed the name to Outdoor Wicked Adventures.
It's so cool.
Adventures.
And then that's the great thing about it, you know, you guys are showing just all the outdoors, but then you got all the cooking and everything else into it too.
Yeah.
But it shows that camping side and how to do all that, you know, and yeah.
Because I think like truly, sorry.
Something that's like super popular people right now too is that car camping stuff.
Mhm.
And I need to get better at showing all that whole process in that. But yeah, we plan on doing more videos that show like the car camping side and the times that we're out there, like literally 3, 4, 5 days, just sleeping in our car and camping and traveling around. Eventually we'll get a van, but yes, people really love that stuff right now. We
Yeah.
got a lot of new subscribers just from showing that side. I have a video out there that just shows how we set up our car. Like it's literally just a video that shows how we set the car up to car camp, and it did really well. And we got a bunch of new subscribers that are like people that just travel around in their cars and do this. So
Yeah, no, I mean it is really cool, and just like I was saying in your last video where you were driving down to Texas,
Mhm.
Alyssa was just literally just showing your whole setup, in the vehicle, everything else too. But what you're doing on the way down, it just, yeah.
Well, and like, tell me how many people, unless you are like a trucker or on the road a lot, who've actually used like a truck stop shower. So I kind of wanted to like throw that in there because yeah, I like played it off like it was kind of like funny and a spoof and I was doing my dishes in the shower, but all at the end of the day, like it's not that scary to go in as not a trucker and just ask for a shower, pay for a shower
Yeah.
and take a shower. So it's just like showing that to people too. Hey, there's a way to do things very cheap. I think, in fact, that's why we get to travel so much is because we kind of have to do things cheaper, in order to get the adventure. And
yeah, like I mean, we never pay for a place to camp. We never
Mhm.
pay for a hotel. I mean, literally, we're paying gas and food everywhere we go because we just stay in the car all
Right.
the time. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying the gas station or the truck stop shower was cheap because it wasn't. It's like $18, but you could still like do things along the way to where you like don't have to get an Airbnb, but still going on an adventure and still like that might not be super important to a guy, but it's probably more important to a girl. And if a guy wants to go with his significant other, then you got to make her happy. Sorry.
Hey, no, I mean it's for the guys too. You guys have no idea how many times I've done a kayak outing and driving home, and I am
I'm
just
just like,
covered in everything from an entire weekend. And it was so smart. I'm just like literally, I was watching that, and I was just like, man, why don't I ever stop at any of those places?
well, and it's crazy
You
because
know?
like even on the way home, so I was gonna be home like really, really late. I didn't want to like come in the house and wake anybody up and go straight to the shower, which is what I would like have to do. So I
Mhm.
literally stopped at the truck stop, like the exit away from home, took a quick shower, so I literally could just come home, come and go to bed. Like Jeremy
Yeah.
didn't even know till he like knew I came home, but then it wasn't like a big deal. I wasn't trying to wake everybody up in the middle of the night. Yeah, it's crazy. Like the stuff that I wouldn't have ever thought of. Now I do it all the time that I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna stop here and do this. It makes your life and the people around your life easier.
yeah, like
Yeah,
on the
I
way.
could say that one too and everything. And I don't know how many
Yeah.
times I've came home in the middle of the
Mhm.
night and go to take a shower, and I'm
But like even that
waking up the
Colorado
wifey.
video,
You're like, yeah.
that Colorado video when we were on our way back, like I actually had purchased a shower that is portable and it's rechargeable. Like just
Oh,
charges on the Type C.
Hmm.
And there's some of them really clear lakes out in western Nebraska. We literally just scooped up a 5-gallon bucket and showered right next to the car. So you just throw the pump in there, hook it onto the car, and shower. It's pretty easy.
in Arkansas, we just put it in
Yeah, in
or in
Arkansas
the
we did
Buffalo
it.
River. We just put it right in there.
Yeah.
And that is one of the best parts about your guys' videos. You guys show so many things that give so many hints to people of things they can do,
Oh
for
god.
camping and everything. That when you changed your name to the Outdoor Wicked Adventures, it was such a smart move just because of that
I
fact. You
think
guys are
so
so
too.
good at showing all that stuff and all the things that people can do differently that they wouldn't have thought otherwise. I didn't think about a portable shower.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just love it.
it
The coffee
is. It's
pot.
smart.
Oh my gosh. That's what really won my heart with Jeremy.
The portable shower.
No, the coffee
The
pot.
the coffee
Oh,
pot.
I got her a coffee pot that runs off of propane.
yeah,
Oh
no,
my
it
gosh.
is. It's some of the things you guys show is things I would never have thought of, and I'm sure there's plenty of others out there that would never have thought of. You guys
Like
do.
that's like the passion that I really fell in love with was the camping side of it and the cooking side of it. I would assume there's other females that are kind of like me as well that if like you can get your significant other out there to camp and cook, like it's only a matter of time before she starts wanting to do more and more and more. I think it's just a good, easy way to like get the whole family involved
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
outdoor adventures, you know, because they
You
don't
can
have
show
to
there's
fit.
you can show a side and everything that's comfortable. You can make it enjoyable.
Yes.
While still being out in the outdoors, you know,
Yeah.
and you'll see things that
Yes.
you've never seen before. And yeah, if you can have the whole family happy and comfortable, it definitely will open up,
Then you get
future
what you
outings.
essentially, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even like we took the kids to Arkansas this year for a vacation, and all the kids except for our oldest, but they all like fishing. Like they do tournaments with me and stuff. Not a single one of them touched a rod the whole time. We were right next to a river, but they're
Yeah.
floating in the river looking for fish with nets and
Oh my
crawdads
gosh.
and rocks, and so they just were enjoying the outdoors, and they didn't even need a fishing rod in their hand.
Well,
Which
like
it looked like it though too. I mean, that area that you
Nice.
guys went
That was a
to looks
beautiful
so
place.
cool.
that was
It is.
amazing. Oh my god.
Jeremy, you definitely did it the way I'd be doing it though too. Just literally kick back on a tube and floating around.
Wasn't that so cool? I'm
Oh
like,
man, it was. But I mean,
gosh.
you're literally just kicked back, you know, and it was just
Oh
arms
my
up,
gosh.
Rod just sitting down, you know. I mean,
I'm like,
how can you
talk
beat that?
about the life. Like that would be so. I'm like, where would we do that here? And I'm like thinking about like the creeks around here, and I'm like, nowhere.
Yeah, that water was like crystal clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah. I have to get a kayak if I want to go in the waters around here because my butt is not touching that water without a barrier between us.
Well, that's a good little step off right there. How was the kayak thing?
Oh gosh, that was just awesome. And I was a little nervous because it was my last day, and in fact, not even like it was my last day, like I was leaving that night to head
Mhm.
to Oklahoma from Texas. So it was like a now or never. I mean, a now or Chris Rombuck's going to teach you in a few months, like situation. But like, I didn't want to wait a few months. So I was like, let's just do it. And he was like, okay, okay. But there was white capping. It was pretty windy. And we had like a little window we went out. Once I got out, then I felt comfortable.
Yep.
Like I don't know what this fear that I had in my head that I was gonna like flip over instantly. Like I don't know. But once I got in it, I was like, oh, this is like very secure. And I like it was again like white caps, and I never felt like I was gonna like flip over.
Yeah. Yeah,
I was like, okay. And I'm
it,
sure
it's
like
just
he was a
getting yourself
guy.
sat down in, right? That makes you, once you're sat
Like,
down and you see what it can do, then you're just all of a sudden, yeah,
I
that
mean,
fear kind of steps away, right?
Yeah, he took you
yeah,
through the whole process, didn't he? He like showed you how everything works.
he did. And like he was and you know, I'm sure his gear is like top notch. I know nothing about kayaks, but I'm sure like as a guide, his gear is probably like there's
Oh,
probably a lot of liabilities with kayak fishing and
probably
like
a lot more than a boat, even. Yes,
I would assume so.
I would.
So,
I would.
but whatever he had was like awesome. And then once I got comfortable with that and it had the motor, I wouldn't want one that didn't have the motor. But I still had to like use the foot pedals to get the butt end around.
Mhm.
But once I got comfortable, that was awesome. Then the hardest thing after that was like fishing and not like spinning around and having your line go under you or getting anyone. So it was a learning process, but it was far less scary than I thought. And I can't wait to do it again.
On the Missouri.
But I'm like, I don't know how he does this. Like, I caught an 8-pound redfish on this kayak, and I was like, like,
Just the,
like
the
the
pulling
kayak's
around
still
that, yeah.
pointing this way, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god. And then the fish don't give a shit. The fish is like, I'm gonna just go under your motor this way. And now you're like, oh. And again, your kayak's still pointing this way. Like it was a rush. Like it was one of the hardest battles I've ever had with an 8-pound redfish. Like Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine a catfish. It just like rip the rod out of my. I just feel, oh shit. What the hell is this?
It is a rush, you know, that getting whipped around and pulled
Oh
all
my
over the place.
gosh.
It is definitely a rush.
Like,
It
Yeah, I
is.
remember that one of your videos, you had a big fish on you. You came unanchored from the bank. That was a little sketchy.
yeah,
Yeah.
remember? Then I went fishing with you and I was like, I can't wait for that to happen again. And you're like, you're so mean. I'm like, I'm sorry. But now I understand. And I still want it to happen to you again.
Thank you again. Like I
Because
think I
it
said last
makes for
time. I mean,
great videos. Because every time I watch, trust me, I'm like, get it, Chris, get it, Chris. Like, just know that I'm
that's what
cheerleading
I
with
was
you.
trying to get Terry into too. You know, we were gonna do some trolling. We literally talked for what 3-4 months
Yeah.
about trolling and just that whip around and then fish pulling, and this
Like,
guy was about as excited as they came until he came out here, and then we had tornadoes.
Tornadoes after tornadoes.
you're like, no. I couldn't even imagine fighting a fish on the Missouri River.
It is definitely
kayak.
it is a lot more of a challenge than a lake or a small river or anything else. It is definitely a 3-pound blue will fill like 30 pounds, and you guys know that, and everybody else that fishes in that kind of current, but when it's just your entire upper body that you're using and that's all you got, it's a challenge.
She caught that 72 last year, and
Oh my
she
God.
thought she was 100% snagged up on a log. So I got the boat right above it, and I'm looking at the sonar. She's got the pole bent down right below us. I'm like, there's nothing down there. That's just your fish. You just got to get it out of that current.
Oh my gosh, I could not believe that fish.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. Watching that video and your excitement and all that though too, and
Well, and that fish had the body of like a 90-pounder. It was so long. It didn't have a lot of gut.
Remember we joked because I got a little salty in the
Yeah.
summertime. And I was like, Jeremy, like, you just take everybody to catch big fish but me. And he's like, whatever. He's like, how's that even possible? I'm like, I don't know, but you're just catching all the big fish.
I kind of felt the exact same way as you did, Alyssa. And every trip that I went out with you guys, it seemed like that same scenario happened too,
Remember? And so I'm like,
I'd be right there in that same spot. The next second later, hey, you guys got a 70, an 80? Oh,
you're like, what?
as I'm chilling in my kayak, pouting and getting all,
Yeah. Yeah. So
I was getting
the
catty.
The catty cat fisherman. Yes, I was being a catty cat fisherwoman. And so then we went out and he's like, you just have to change your attitude. And I was like, nah. My attitude's fine. But I'm like, okay, well, then we started catching fish on the
What
river.
happened right away though?
Big.
What happened right away though? That
Oh,
morning,
there was a big takedown.
so one of the rods, which was one she was using, she's horrible with drag. She always locks it down and never loosens it back up. And one of the rods just got slammed harder than I've ever had a rod hit, and it's like zzz, 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 snap. I was like, well, there goes your big fish. So now you just better hope you catch a bunch of little ones.
I mean, you didn't say it like that, because if you said it like that, you might have got punched in your face. He did not say it like that.
I
He
did
was
not
like,
see that in one of the videos.
yeah. Yeah. So, but I was like, okay. Then I was like, man, that was it. Like, that was my one chance out of state record. Just like that, because I'm a bitch. Like, and I don't change my attitude. So I had to change my attitude and be nicer. And then we started catching all these like little fish, like 2 pounds, 10 pounds,
15.
like 15 pounds, like
20. I think there was a 20.
good. Like, that's good. Like, that's a lot of fish for the Missouri in one day,
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
And
guys.
then-
The camera was starting to fall over.
No. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna catch fish to add up to 80 pounds. And then about 1 o'clock, that big boy hit.
Well, we were only getting like one fish in every spot we went, and she had
Oh,
just
that's good.
like when we were in that spot where she caught her big one. We had literally like before I even got all the rods out, a rod started getting hit, and it ended up going down. I think it was like a 10 or 15 pounder, and she caught it like right away. We were in that spot, and I bet it wasn't 5 minutes later when that big one hit.
Crazy.
See, and that's something to say to you guys this year though too. It is not that easy.
Oh my god.
Every spot you hit, and you catch a fish, it's not. And you
Oh.
guys had
And like
a
that
year
day
though,
was
too.
magnificent, right?
Yeah.
But then like the next weekend, I think we got skunked. Like,
That one.
or we caught one, like that was a magnificent day, but it was
I
not
tell people
always
all
like
the
that.
time, like, yeah, you saw us get, but like, I fished 20 spots to catch those 3 fish.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's like when you guys came behind me that one day when we were fishing.
Oh my god.
And then I took off. It literally took me. I was from 5 that morning till I think you guys came down 12:30 or so.
Yeah.
And I probably hit about 20 spots too, and I got one fish
Yeah.
before all that too, And I mean,
Oh
that's
my
how it is
God.
out there. You can
Oh,
hit
yeah.
so many spots, but the videos. That's the thing. Even my parents have said this. You really catch fish like that every time, and it's that quick. And
Right.
I'm like, no, I'm out all weekend long, and lucky if you get that one fish.
I'm
Right.
like, but I promise you guys don't want to see me like pick my nose for an hour. Like,
Well, the way you guys edit
like
videos, I'm pretty sure you'd make it look interesting. You made an 8-hour drive to Texas look, fun and interesting when we all know
oh my
how
gosh.
much fun an 8-hour drive is.
Oh my gosh. It was so great. I like, loved it. I loved it. And now I'm like, oh, why do we have to have Spoonbill on in the background? Because I didn't even know if we were gonna go spoonie fishing this year. Now, Chris, you guys need to go spoonbill fishing.
I want to do it. I really do. I've been planning with a buddy a trip that we're gonna go down.
Yeah, is
in
your buddy's
March.
name Terry? And he wants to come down.
I tried to get Terry out again. I tried. Terry,
I don't know what kind of trips I'm going on this year because we got a family vacation plan. It's like a week and a half vacation, so I'm not sure what's going on with me.
Terry's got his voice. He's excited for fishing this with them.
I might be fishing Outer Banks this year, but we're going to Outer Banks this year, so I hope I get some saltwater fishing in.
That's outside of the Carolinas, isn't it?
Yeah, little islands outside the Carolinas.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
I think we're going down there like 4 or 5 days and hitting up a national forest in Virginia. Maybe do some trout fishing up there.
Hey.
Hiking.
The Carolinas are just beautiful though too. So hike and everything else out there, that would be.
I need to go there.
Yeah, I was born in North Carolina.
That's where I want to go out. I want to go out and see it. My brother-in-law lives out there right now, and he takes some pictures, and it's just beautiful areas.
Yep, that's why I'm a Panther fan, unfortunately.
Hey, have faith.
They're getting better.
They are. They are.
So you guys got plans going down into Texas again. You guys got your videos coming up here from your last trip, Alyssa.
Yeah. So the next video coming out is a nighttime redfish video, which is awesome. Spoiler alert, Tiny Pole catches his first redfish and it's epic. It's epic.
Awesome.
So that is awesome. And then I have, of course, my kayak adventure, which I was like, oh my gosh, I can't, like, editing that video. I'm like, I can't believe how long it took me. It took me like 12 minutes to fight an 8-pound fish on a kayak. I'm like, oh my God, speed up. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. But that's a lot of fun. And then my on my way home, of course, is another adventure with a crock pot meal. And I stop at my favoriteest dock, Ponderosa Enclosed Dock in Oklahoma on
Grand
it is on Grand Lake, isn't it? This I love it. I love it so much. It's just you'll have to see. I know you've seen it before, but my favorite enclosed dock there. However, I found out from some locals there some neat other enclosed docks. So on the way home from Texas this time in February, I want to stop at those other ones where you just pay a couple bucks and you go in and fish, and it's wonderful. It's warm. They have a little heater in there, and just oh, it's wonderful. The
Is
food is
that
the
one where you guys
same.
like did spoonbill? Did you guys do that down in Oklahoma down there?
Yeah,
Yes.
same lake we went the very first time we went with Tommy Vaughn spoonbill
Mhm.
fishing. He's kind of who showed us. Like I spoonbill fish, but never from a boat. So he kind of showed us how to do it from a boat, and that's when we took that knowledge and went to the Ozarks the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But yeah, that same lake has that dock. There's a video of us one time. I think we caught a catfish and a crappie out of there, and we cooked it up inside the enclosed
See,
dock.
I knew it had to be somewhere other than the Ozarks because I scanned all around the Ozarks and I just couldn't find any of that background, when I was trying to steal one of your guys'
Yeah.
spots, I mean, I'm just kidding.
You're like, I just couldn't
Man,
see
wrong
any of
state.
it.
Gosh, dang it.
No, Tommy Vaughn's a guide down on Grand Lake, but he runs Meat Hunter Rods. So Charles, the owner of Meat Hunter Rods, set us up with him when we first learned how to do it. But yeah, I think he guides for catfish.
Oh my gosh, bow
bass,
fishing,
crappie,
crappie.
bowfish. He does everything. Now.
He's so entertaining.
He's very entertaining.
That is so cool, though. And in Oklahoma, see, that's where I want to get one of those first trips out, when it comes to spoonbill wise.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, they got
yes.
monsters. I know the Ozarks does, but
But
Oklahoma is
just
just the monsters. They got,
Keystone's where it's at.
yeah.
and I like their rules honestly better than Ozarks. For one, you could go, it is year round, isn't it? And then barbless hooks, so you could actually catch and release
Mhm.
versus Ozarks.
Yeah, in the Ozarks, if you catch one over that slot limit, you have to keep it. You have no choice. You can't throw it back.
Really?
Yep.
And that's kind
Boy.
of like an argument that we have is, I feel it should be like any other sport where you can practice catch and release.
Yeah.
Like, especially if there's no like damage to the fish,
Yeah.
But
And that's
Well,
why
that's
why we
something I'm
haven't
gonna
had-
have to. That's something I'm gonna have to plan with people that will eat fish. Then I guess.
Yeah, that's why we haven't fully decided if we're going back yet or not because we still have paddle fish in the freezer, so I don't want to.
I'm like, but I do want to go spoonbill fishing, so I'd be totally down to go to Oklahoma where we can enjoy it and then take what we want and leave the rest for someone who else wants to catch it.
Is that because they just have so many down there, or
so their rules
you guys
used
know
to
what
be
the rule is on that?
in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
So in Oklahoma, the rules used to be that you use barbed hooks, but you can only keep 2 a year. Once you caught your 2, you're done for the whole year paddle fishing. They changed the rule where they use barbless hooks now, and now you can still only keep 2 a year, but you can fish for them as much as you want, as long as you're letting them go.
Yeah. So that's why when you guys said, then you have to keep it, I was just like, well, that's kind of
Yeah.
Ozarks. What are their rules there?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact length limit, 34 inches or whatever, but it's from the eye to the fork of the tail. If they measure above that, you have to keep them.
Well, you guys
I think
definitely
it's
made
2 a day and 4 in possession. So if you caught 2 over 34 inches, you technically were done for the day. You couldn't do anything else. So
yeah.
Well,
but you can also see that they're like a beautiful fish.
Isn't that perfect? Just perfect timing right there.
I know, isn't that weird? I'm like, I don't know how that happened, but okay.
They are cool fish.
Jeremy, if your sister was on there right now, though, when she had her one, and
oh man,
oh my goodness, when Tip caught the biggest fish of her life,
she's a character.
It.
Well, Tip and Alyssa, you two together is the comedy as it is all together.
Gosh,
You got
I
the
love
paddlefish. Oh my god.
I love it. Oh yeah, good times.
Yeah. You guys, good times. You guys look like you don't stop laughing from start to finish each time.
Usually we're not. Usually my face hurts so much.
Yeah.
I'm laughing.
And I don't get a word in; they just go at it. So.
Well, they make it look very, very fun though.
It's
So
entertaining. It's entertaining. That's for sure. And like people don't realize, like I still work full time. Like I usually work 45 hours a week. So like I'm trying to squeeze all this in between family time and luckily she has a little more freedom, so she's able to go out there and get some more videos. So it actually works out for us to get like we were shooting for 3 videos a week for a while, and it was a lot to keep up on, but the like stats on our YouTube were showing that it was working, so we kept doing it. And we slowed down for the winter time, but it definitely makes it a lot easier when you're doing it with a partner.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Especially now that she's like started to get into editing and that. And her editing is actually pretty good, and she does it all from a phone. I need the computer. I can't do that crap from my phone. So,
Yeah,
I think the phone is so much easier too. Terry,
I can't do a phone. I gotta do laptop.
Oh my gosh,
See,
that's
I think my fingers are
that's
just too fat. It's like, come on.
I bought the one and everything too. Tried doing it on there, and I was just like, this is just so much easier on a phone. Just so much. I couldn't. I tried pulling up things, tried doing things different. On the computer, tried new things with the computer. It is. I think it's more challenge. The phone
it works
just makes
out for the hardest part for her is like when we have GoPro footage, because we have to get that GoPro footage onto her phone, and we know some of those like there's a lot of times we have a camera shooting the whole time, so your clips are 4 gigabytes each.
Yeah,
it's a lot to go on a phone. So, I think that's what she's fighting with right now with that kayak videos, because she's got a lot of GoPro footage.
I knew that kayak video was going to be the devil. I knew it. I knew it when I filmed it because I was so scared to death. I didn't get my phone out the whole time. Everything is on a GoPro. Everything that is on a GoPro that is around my neck that never left my neck because I didn't want it to go in the water. So I'm like, oh, I knew that was going to be rough, but it's epic. So
I learned very well. Don't put a camera on your head ever again. That part's better.
That's how
one thing I figured out with the phone that makes it easy, and for anybody that else use the phone is anytime you catch a fish or anytime you have a landscape moment that you really like, just stop recording on everything, time everything. You can break down instead of having to watch through 4 gigabytes of footage. If you see that one that's all of a sudden it's like 1 gigabyte, you're like, oh, there's the one where I
something happened.
I do that on the boat because I have a camera that's always going on the boat just to catch the takedowns. So after that takedown, we catch that fish, I'll stop it and then restart it. So I kind of have an idea where it's at.
Yep, I thought that made it so much easier. My first year doing it, I just let everything record too, and then I would spend 3 days just watching, an hour's worth of this footage, an hour's worth of that, and it was just like, oh my gosh, what can I do better? And just stop each time.
Looks like a couple people chatted on there.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Jerry.
Oh, they're wonderful.
They are.
We have some rod holders from 419.
Oh, heck yeah.
They're good people.
Sorry, I can't ever see any of the chats or the pop-ups on my side, so. Hi, Gary. You guys say something's there.
Make sure you all subscribe to these two guys up here.
Make sure you guys subscribe to these two down here.
Yeah.
These
I have all the links.
Chuckleheads.
And I believe all the links are in the description too.
So you guys said you're going down to Texas again.
Yep.
We are.
What's the plan?
First time coastal fishing.
Yeah, I really want to get Meat Hunter, Charles, a Meat Hunter. I've already talked to him. He's making us a couple 10-foot 2-piece rods so we can cast out in the ocean better, spinning. So we're gonna stop in Arkansas on the way down, do some striper fishing, pick up those poles, and I think we're gonna go straight to the coast. Whether we decide on Galveston or Corpus Christi, that's undecided yet. But one of those two places, we'll spend a couple of days probably fishing that, and then we'll go up to San Antonio. My buddy Scott, he guides for redfish on his boat, so we'll probably go out with him a night. It's always a fun time with. I've known Scott over 20 years. So I actually met him in Nebraska. There used to be an old NEFGA forum, which I think is still around, but I'm not on it. And it was started after Nebraska Games and Parks stopped doing their like forum thing.
Yep.
This guy, this military guy, I was like 19, 20 at the time. I was pretty well known for catching big channel cats. So guys would hit me up all the time.
Channel cat, Greg.
This one guy, he's super friendly, but he was like over friendly, and when you're like 19, 20, you're like, what's this old guy want to do with me? Like, I ain't so I kept blowing him off. And
Guy
one time,
told you, oh,
and one time he messages me and he's like, I just caught a 56 pounder out of the Base Lake. You should stop by and check it out. And I was like, at least I know the Base Lake, and only military people are allowed out there. So I knew he was military. So I go out there, and he's actually a really cool guy. And he learned a lot of the stuff that that he does for catfishing from me. And yeah, he went down. He ended up retiring. He went down to Texas, and he started up a guide business for redfish and catfish.
Guide service.
Yeah, he's super cool guy. Red, white, and blue guide service down there in San Antonio. But yeah, redfish and catfish. And
we have a blast with him every time. In fact, I actually got to see him when I was on a kayak for the first time at Lake Calveras. He was in front of me, and I actually saw him with his he was like on a guided trip guiding people, and they caught a catfish right in front of me. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. So,
but yeah, we'll go out with him. He's kind of got me hooked on those redfish. Those redfish are fun. And that's kind of what got me wanting to go to the coast, because we're catching freshwater reds. And there's a lot of them in these freshwater lakes. They're power plant lakes, but they're kept pretty frequently. So like a big one is like 8 to 10 pounds, where you go to the ocean, you get like 30, 40 pounders. And I can only imagine how they fight when I'm fighting those 8-pound reds.
Like crazy.
An 8-pounder that's in a lake though too, that doesn't have those kind of currents and everything that they're constantly fighting. And that sounds so cool. Like really
that Calveras Lake and Brawny Lake, pretty interesting. Like in the 1980s, they started stocking all kinds of saltwater fish that they thought could handle, like, it's still freshwater, but it has some alkalinity to it because of the ground around it. And the ones that took off were the redfish. But yeah, they even put like tarpon in there and sea bass.
That's crazy.
All kinds
of awesome
stuff. Yeah.
That is, oh my God.
So yeah, there's still like old stories of people catching tarpon out of there, and Scott's like, there's only redfish in here, there's not tarpon. They didn't survive it.
If there was tarpon in there, I'm not even kidding. I've always wanted to go after them in a kayak. I'm just like, I'm not going out on the ocean in a kayak. I'm not doing it, Find a lake that has tarpon in it. I'd be, oh man.
A tarpon? I want to catch one with a hot dog. Isn't that the ones that bite your? Yeah, is that what you're talking about? Yeah, you can go out there, and I'll watch you do that, and I'm gonna catch them on a hot dog hand, and we'll be living our best life, bro.
Well, those redfish, when you guys are catching them, like your guys' videos with those redfish, it looks like, they're. Every inch of them is just pure muscle, the way it looks like, when you're fighting them. So yeah.
When we catch the striper, they're pretty similar. The big striper and the bigger reds that we catch, they fight pretty similar.
Yeah.
But striper from the ocean too. So.
Like a drum. Like if you just catch a drum here, like in the Midwest, it's like that, but big. Like. It is crazy.
And it's kind of cool when we got on some of the night bite out there because literally, like, you couldn't go 2 seconds without seeing a rod go down. Just everywhere you looked, a rod was going down.
Crazy.
Yeah, that would be so
Wild
cool.
repeats.
The
Definitely a lot
the
of
surf
time.
fishing, though, you guys are going to go down and do some of the surf fishing there.
Yep.
You know, you guys catch a shark. You prepared for that one?
Not really this
No.
time. I mean, we'll
Are
try.
you kidding me?
I definitely want to target them sometime though.
One time, you've heard this story. I caught a puffer fish. Do you know this story? I know you do. Yeah, I went to go help out with the Hurricane Ian in Florida and happened to get a day off and like just took some shrimp and like a $20 Walmart rod because I didn't have anything. I was just there to like help clean up
Hmm.
and went to one of the canals and caught a puffer fish.
That's cool.
That was like
Do
the
they
coolest
bite?
moment of my life, and I have nothing to show for it but a picture of a deflated puffer fish in my hand on a towel because I didn't know how to handle it properly. I didn't want to hurt it or myself.
Not tell them about the catfish you kissed.
Well, do they fight though? Did that puffer fish fight or?
So like no, but everyone was like, "Oh, they're like poisonous," like, which I
Yeah.
don't know if they are or not. But you want me to tell them about the catfish?
Yeah. So that's pretty funny.
It's a pretty embarrassing. So, like, kissing fish is kind of my thing, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm like down in Florida, and I have my $20 rod and my shrimp, and I'm catching fish. Oh my gosh, they're like this big, and they're saltwater catfish, and they're kind of cool. But they also have these weird little spikes on them that our catfish don't. And the bigger the catfish, the bigger the spike. It really hurts you. But
Yeah.
people are like, you shouldn't. I was like, like, selfie with my little fish, And people are like, you probably shouldn't like do that, like the salt water. And I'm, what? You're gonna tell me not to kiss a fish? Oh my gosh, losers. Yeah. So like the next day, half my face was like so swollen. And I like looked in the mirror and it was like, I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine that. The people that fish saltwater were right. Wow. Wow. I should have been kissing the saltwater fish. So you all were right. And I was wrong. And I gotta be careful what I kiss sometimes because it'll bite back.
Well, you got your jigs that you make and everything too. Is that where you kind of came up with
Oh
the
my
name for the
gosh.
kissing?
Yes, that is funny. I was just reading Jerry's comment of their grandson kisses fish because of me, and I just love it.
Oh,
I
that's
remember
awesome.
running into them. They just are an amazing couple, and they help their grandson fish and their son, and they're just amazing. We ran into them on the bank one day fishing. And we gave them some kiss and fish stuff too, and they had given us some rod holders. So it's a pretty cool moment. But yes, 100% that is how Kiss and Fish got the name. Is because I just started kissing all the fish all the time. So
Well,
the
I
rigs
thought it was a
actually,
perfect name for your brand and everything,
it
considering all the
ended up
videos
being
and all the
like,
fish kissed before. So,
yes, it ended up being awesome. And Kiss and Fish was actually started because of the rigs I was making for tournaments.
mhm.
And I used a lot of saltwater like tactics and tricks that I had learned just because I figured when I was in Florida and like learning a lot of stuff, the saltwater's so abrasive. Oh my gosh, it's so hard on everything that if I can make a rig that can withstand saltwater, I can make a rig that can withstand 100-pound catfish. I guarantee you that. So that's I think why we've been really successful is the whole goal was to make a pre-made rig to make it easier on people, but they can also put 100% trust in that rig that it's made with love and care and everything that I would do to make my own catfish tackle to ensure that you could catch anything from 2 pounds to 82 pounds
Or 83.
or 83. So yes, that's
No,
how
that's actually really that's awesome and everything, you know, where you took the saltwater side of it and turned it into making this business that, you know, like you said, 100-pound blue or whatever, you know, you get in a state record and you trust your equipment behind it, but because your knowledge off of the saltwater and translating that over to the freshwater fishing, I mean, that's really cool. And
it's
you
just
know,
a long lasting, durable set of rigs that's affordable. Like it makes me sick when I like go to some of these catfish conventions, you guys, and it's like $15 for a rig.
Yeah.
Blech. Oh gosh, it's like paying $8, $9, $10 for a lure. You're paying that much money for something, you're about to get snagged, man. Blech. Come on, guys. I can't do it. I can't do it to people.
Well, and that's what we use. I mean, she makes a lot of the rigs that we use, and I mean, we've caught 60,
Yeah.
70, 80-pound fish on them.
Yeah, everything I sell is exactly what I
Yeah.
use. I even use that same exact rig and went and caught a redfish like on the Kiss and Fish 6/0 hook. So,
Mhm.
yep.
And we
But no,
started.
I mean your story behind it though, and the saltwater side of it and everything. See, that's something that's really cool. You know, you can show, you know, where you do back your product and understand it
Oh,
and strength
yes.
that it can have, and you know, and there's a story behind it. That's
Yeah.
you know,
I think the way
that's
that
the
it
part that's
came
good.
about was just like almost kind of an accident. Like I never set out to make a rig company. I never set out to make a tackle shop. Like it was the last thing in my mind. It just happened to be that I was doing this and I loved it and other people started encouraging me and put the idea in my head and I was like, "Well, I do love it." Like,
Mhm.
so I'm blessed that it happened how it happened. Like everything's supposed to happen for a reason, they say.
What's that bird say? Oh, the cowboy rigs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had some custom rigs made for Everett. That was a lot of fun, actually. I have to be careful when it comes to the NFL. You can't like do too much. But oh my gosh, that was super fun. We also did some Miami Dolphins colors. Yeah, it's where it's and I know what is the flashiness catch, babe? Does it catch the fish or does it catch the angler?
The fisherman.
It catches the fisherman.
Yeah.
Oh, Brooksy Evan.
I like set out to try to prove that, and I made a buttload of trophy cat. They're rattles.
Mhm.
What's he called? Kitty calls.
Good
Kitty calls.
calls.
But he
Yeah.
was selling the blanks at one point, and I got a ton of them from him, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
painted them black. I just want to show
black.
that the color did not matter, and literally that black was out fishing every color we ever.
It really did. It really did. So if Kiss
Yeah.
and Fish just starts making really boring black rigs, that's because they're effective.
No, that's, I mean, that is true and everything. They do have that effect, you know. Sometimes the shiny, it depends on your water clarity and everything,
Yeah,
though, too. You know, I found, you know, it's just like with your jigs and everything. A lot of the times, black does work better.
Well, and I think it's because our water in Nebraska is so muddy. So the only
Yep.
thing that's gonna show up is gonna be something that's darker than the water
Yeah.
itself, and the black shows up. So
This is true.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just need it to be a little spicy. You need a little chrome or pink in your life. Chartreuse. Ooh.
I will say I've had kind of the opposite effect a lot of the time, so too. The ones that did have a lot more of the flashy colors, depending on where I was at, I did catch way more than when I
Yeah.
did. You know, it does matter where you're at times, you know, and yeah,
Milford Lake down in Kansas, it was always
Mhm.
orange. Every time I put orange on.
That's
Yep.
crazy to me. I'm like, that is crazy to me that you know that. Yeah, that's what sucks is that you don't always know. Like, I have a rig company and we have 18 million colors of rigs, and for some reason I can't even figure out which one the catfish truly want. Damn it, guys.
That bloody bait in front of it. That's what I found.
Yeah.
Right.
And then a couple of our biggest fish this year, we weren't even using float rigs.
Yeah, we didn't have
Just on
float
the
rigs
bottom.
on. We just had bottom rigs on.
Yeah. It depends on where you're at, what time, of year, how the water is, everything else, everybody knows every different rig wise when it comes down to that. And yeah.
Yeah, because we always fish with 6 rods in the boat. And we're on the Missouri River. I usually have 4 of them that have float rigs on them and 2 don't.
Mhm.
But there was a one point where we were getting so many on the bottom that it was like 5 of our rods had no float
Yeah.
rigs and 1 had a float rig.
To the point where I was like, does Kissin' Fish just need to start selling like bottom rigs? Or, like a buck each. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I do the same thing when I go out, and if I'm on the bank or anything, I always throw out half with, half without. See what's actually, working the best. And depending on the time of the year, especially early spring, that bottom's always the best.
Yeah.
I've always found where just putting it right on the bottom, especially the channel cats, but
Start eating all that dead stuff from the wintertime. So
Yep.
The bottom.
And corn.
Corn.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I about pooped my pants that day.
Wow.
Best day of my life.
Terry, that was timing. Take a drink at the same time with your nice Bengals where the Steelers went up.
Yeah. Okay, we got a Steelers Cup.
I'm not even a fan. I just had to do it to you, Terry.
I know you're not a fan.
He's a Minnesota fan.
Oh, man.
All right. Chris said he was going to nail it on us hard with the questions.
Yeah, we need these tough
Get
questions.
down to the nitty gritty. The tough questions.
Yeah, I was totally joking with you guys.
Yeah, so I don't really.
No, you guys you guys really, you laid it out pretty how you started everything else, and I kind of wanted to know what was coming up, in the future here, because I love
How it
watching the
started
channel
was
all the
with
time.
Alyssa
But
not knowing what a live well was.
Yeah.
However, we've come a long way.
The
From
very
that.
first time I ever met her, she didn't know what a live well was. So
I was doing a tournament with my buddy Josh, and it was a Wicked Whiskers tournament. It was the first tournament of my life, and like quite frankly, one of the first few times on a boat with a live well. It wasn't a John boat.
sorry, I don't know why I didn't even think about asking all that, because I've heard that story before when we've hung out
I think it's
too
just
and
because
talking.
you've heard it before.
And I didn't,
so you're like,
yeah, I didn't even
you
think to
know?
even ask you on it, because we had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs and a lot of
Oh my gosh!
conversations that night. So
Right?
yeah, I go around and check all the boats before we go out, and I check their live wells just to keep everything fair. And I get up in the boat, and Josh is like, "Alyssa, show him the live well," and she's like, "Huh?"
A what?
And she's like, "What's a live well?" I was like, "If you don't know what a live well is, you guys do not have any fish on this boat." And I just walked away.
And guess what? We didn't have any fish at the end of the tournament neither. Someone was a pissy pants and wanted to go home. And I thought it's fine. I ain't gonna see that guy ever again in my life. It's fine.
then you didn't have to worry about being catty.
Here we are. I was like catty in my own head. I'm like, because here's what happened. Someone got a little bit too big for their britches. Someone was like fishing along the river system, fishing along the canals. I was fucking crushing it. I was killing it. It was great. Take me to a lake. Nothing. I was like a lost puppy. I was like a lost puppy with no direction, nowhere to go. It was like I was fishing an empty fish bowl, and I couldn't find the fish, and I couldn't find the structure, and the fish weren't by the structure that I found, and it was horrible. It was horrible. I'm like,
I hear that. I
was
feel the exact
first
same
time.
way on lakes.
Yes.
I can read it. I can read a creek. I can read a river. I can read any of that. Put me on a lake and oh man.
Oh my gosh, I was just like there, like I know nothing. I know nothing. Oh my gosh, it was epic failure, which is wonderful because I would have never like gone further, gone forward if it was like everything was easy peasy, but I still suck at fishing lakes.
Yeah.
Lakes.
I hear that. I'm still the same way too, but that's where you meet a lot of friends and you have a lot of fun and you
It
learn things
is.
that way
Oh
though
my
too. That's
gosh.
awesome. So
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yep.
And we'll get better. I'll get better.
I know this year, like, we want to show more of the like side for like women. So like she went with Mallory. We're hoping to hook up with some other women anglers out there just to show that there's women out here doing it too. I
I
don't.
met so many girls that like they really love it. Like they really love what they're
Yeah,
doing.
we went out with
Yeah.
Anna Banks. That was fun. We were catching fish, so
Oh,
we'll have to do that again. But
Yeah.
but it was
Oh,
another nice cooking video though too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And the project that I've had in the back of my mind since we started doing this is I want to do a series that's about people that were pretty much saved by fishing. It's gonna be called Fishing Saved Me. I'm trying to hold out to do any of that stuff till we get like 5,000 subscribers because I want to get out there in front of more people. But like Alyssa, she's 8 years sober now, and we know some other people that have been through some stuff, and fishing is what saved them. And I want to just tell their story and go out and fish with them and have them share their whole story from where they were and where they are now. So I thought that'd be a cool thing to do.
Oh, that's awesome. Actually, yeah, that is really cool. And congratulations, Alyssa.
Oh, I thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
No, that's really awesome idea. And you know, again, you guys are coming out and thinking of things and doing things that I wouldn't have thought of. You know, that's cool.
Yeah, there's just like being in the tournament scene. Like everyone always associates fishing with drinking, but it's quite the opposite. Like I
Yeah.
know so many guys that come out to these tournaments that they literally are doing this because that's what got them sober. They had a problem with drugs or alcohol in the past. They had to replace it with something else. They replaced it with fishing. And like you go to our campgrounds and we're all camping together before a tournament and you barely see anyone drinking. They're all sober. So and like Raymond, he's really big on wanting to share his story. I know you know who Raymond Polson is, but
Yep.
so he's one of the ones I plan on getting out with, and yeah, we're gonna share some of these people's stories and get them out there.
No, that's really cool. And yeah,
And so I'm like a YouTube geek. I don't just watch fishing videos. I watch all kinds of videos. So I've watched like I don't know if you ever heard of the soft white underbelly guy that does documentaries on people, but like he goes and talks to like drug addicts and stuff. And that's what kind of gave me the idea for it. It's not only being around these people that got clean and sober from fishing, but just seeing the documentary side where how he shows people progressing through their recovery. Cats. So, but yeah, I'm kind of a YouTube geek. Like I watch more YouTube than I watch TV. I watch a guy that does van life, Van City van life guy.
Oh, that's
Yep.
cool.
He's really cool. But so yeah, so I get a lot of my ideas just because I watch a lot of YouTubes.
oh, that's cool. Sorry, guys, I'm really like
Oh, you're good.
a lot of questions. I really did, but you know, you guys have answered, quite a bit. Well, you did answer one though.
What's that?
What are you gonna do if you catch a shark?
I mean,
Probably kiss it.
I was hoping Alyssa would say it. That just
like
like
I
I'm
don't
thinking about
really
all the
know.
teeth and everything else, and
and I don't know why I like picture in my head this shark being a hammerhead. Maybe it's 'cause it's like my favorite shark. So I don't know like why I picture this like shark being a hammerhead. so
Yeah, it's funny because
I'm
I was
gonna figure
thinking
out how to
hammerhead
kiss
in
that.
Texas.
the
so
what?
yeah,
So I was thinking
Uh,
Hammerhead, Texas. So
Yeah, I don't know
she's
why.
stuck
I'm
ahead.
like, yeah, it's got to
What's
be.
the other one? Bonnet Head. I think there's another one they
Yeah, the bonnet. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
All I kept
Well,
thinking was like the black tip.
yeah.
Black tip. You get the black tip. Everything I've ever seen, like, I like watching a lot of videos too, and I watch a lot of the salt water, and every time I see somebody that catches a black tip, they always look like they're going to whip right around and bite them in the arm.
oh yeah.
I'm just
Oh
like
yeah.
imagining if that's what you catch first or whatever. I'm just like, oh,
Yeah,
man.
that's great.
No,
I'm gonna be like,
they
that's
seem to go
wonderful.
crazy.
Yeah, I've seen too many videos of close calls. People are jumping out of the way of a shark swinging around right
Yeah.
at them when they're going to release them.
You know that what's that's called? Good TV. Entertainment.
Yeah.
I'd rather not get bit by a shark though, but I feel like I'd be like some stupid lady. It was like,
You
yeah,
guys just see what Matt commented.
give me my selfie with my shark, and shit goes bad. What happened?
They said, "Why is Jeremy Fish by himself?" Oh, Alyssa kissed a shark.
Yeah. Oh, Alyssa
Again,
being bad by just
I can't see the chat or the comments. I don't know why, but that definitely sounds like something Matt would say. Oh
like,
man.
yeah, I just picture like for one, if you just latched into a shark and then you like saw it, you'd be like, no shit. I just caught a shark. And I don't really know how it'd go from there.
See, I don't know what I feel safer with a shark or, a small cat. I honestly don't know how he would react. The shark's got the teeth, but those small cats,
I
I swear,
mean,
they flip around and they catch you with
Yeah.
their little spines like every
Oh, yeah.
time. I don't
Oh,
know how
yeah, I
about
got
you
plenty
guys,
of
but
scars.
yeah, I seem to get stuck by a little one every time. Every time I catch a small one, I'm like, great,
I got
great.
stuck by a 10-pounder in my leg this year.
oh, that was
And
bad.
it went all the
Oh,
way in. And it was at a weigh-in. I was weighing fish in, and the guy went to grab it. I was like, "No, it's stuck in my leg." And so I pull it out. And as soon as I pull it out, my whole leg was just covered in blood.
I felt kind of
Jeez.
bad. I was like, Jeremy, stop being a puss.
Was that a channel too?
Yeah,
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
I still have a
man.
hole in my leg. There's about a pin-sized hole in my leg.
Those
It was
channels
so
are so
bad.
much worse than the blues. It's like the blues, once they get to like that 8 pound, it always
Yeah,
seems like their tip is nowhere near.
they just
Yeah,
round off.
yeah, it just rounds off. But those channels, like it doesn't seem like it ever. It's just sharp at all times.
Yeah.
I
I
think the
hate
worst
channels.
is the bullheads.
Oh
Boys.
god, yeah, the bullheads. Oh yeah. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
that was,
That's why I don't feel so bad when I put a hook in a bullhead. After
Oh,
all the
we had one
bullheads
in the
that stuck me.
aquarium.
Yeah.
Ely. Ely is aggressive too. He bit my finger the other day when I was just trying to give him.
Yeah, she has a pet bullhead that we brought back from Arkansas.
Oh,
And
And Henry.
I stuck my finger in there one time, and he latched
Look
onto it.
at
I could literally lift him
Oh,
out
yeah.
of the tank. He went,
they're like the mouths are like vice grips.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's badass, man. I'm growing him. He's 7.5 inches right now.
But you realize how blind they are when she feeds him. Because
It's
he'll go
insane.
crazy because he can smell it. But he's just like circling around and swiping everywhere and missing, and then he finally gets it. So,
It's like actually been very interesting, like studying him because, of course, it's in an aquarium. I mean, like clear as this water here.
Yeah.
You could see anything in it. And that catfish, you could see his eyes. They look great. He, like, oh, here's a cat butt.
yeah, no one will see that.
Manny.
We talked about all the cats in the butt. I had a little flathead before, and I had a bullhead in a tank before. And yeah, it's surprisingly, flatheads can actually see really good. It's
Yeah.
surprising how well. And then the bullhead, yeah, that
Blind.
same thing. Like they are, yeah. Bats have better blind, bleh. Bats see better than they do, I think.
Mhm.
Well, Terry, you got anything else?
I have nothing.
He looks tired.
I'm looking forward to, yeah, shoot, it's what 10:30 for you now, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot.
10:30.
That's right.
This is how it is when we get together out on the rivers. We literally we've talked to like 2, 3 in the morning, and the whole
Oh
time
my
we're yawning,
God.
but we just keep talking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's wonderful.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, this was awesome, you guys. And it's fun to like talk and
Especially this time of year. We
yes.
all just
Oh yeah,
Right?
there's nothing else to do, so.
I just need something. I just need friends. I need friends.
I mean,
I
friends.
mean,
Yeah.
unless you're into that ice fishing thing,
Hey, I'm trying.
I just I hear the crack and I'm off. I'm
It's
like
still
Roadrunner.
fresh.
Oh.
It freaks me out, but man, that freaking 6 inches of ice that I was on the other day, you ain't falling through that.
I
That
don't
took
care
me
if you
forever
could
to
drive a
drill
vehicle
through.
on it. I'm still not going out.
No, I'm
That's
so
what sucks
Have
about
you seen
Ohio. You
those
might get
have you seen those boats they make for ice fishing now?
Yeah.
They literally sit in a John boat and this motor just like has like a saw blade
It's
looking thing in the
Yeah.
back. Shoots them across.
Shoo, across the ice. I'm like,
I
I think they call
I
them
thought that was
scratch
one of the
boats.
coolest things I've seen, but I'm still like, nope.
oh my gosh. Oh no. You just be like me and sit inside your sled.
Thanks, Darren. I appreciate that.
Well, Terry, if you ain't got anything else,
no.
I want to thank you guys for coming on. I really do. Outdoor Wicked Adventures. Check them out, you guys.
Yep,
We'll all have
it's been
to get
fun.
fishing together sometime.
Yes, we really do.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
I
look
need to get
forward
out
to.
there.
We'll get Terry out here again sometime.
Yeah, for sure.
Hopefully this
We'll get
year.
out on the boat.
Yeah.
Hey.
I tried to get him out in May. He wanted to come out in April, and we didn't have hardly any tornadoes in May, Terry.
No.
True.
All I know
We'll
this
get out.
all last year fishing, I was plagued by
Hey.
storms
Yeah.
all year.
I think we all did.
Wherever I went,
Yeah, we
it
didn't
was
even get on the
storm.
river until
Oh, it's
basically
rough.
September.
Yeah, it's rough.
Before, we had the spring, and then all of late spring and summer it flooded. So
Yeah. Yeah, it was end of July.
yeah,
I think it was when we really could get back out there and
right.
didn't have to worry
But-
about getting hit by a tree or
I'm like,
you know.
I also have like my thinking about how springtime is going to go because of the flooding. And it's looking like this.
Mhm. I always love the year after a flood.
Yep. 100%.
Like it's like,
Yeah.
ooh, that thing just gave me a thumbs up when I did that. Did you see that on the camera? Anyways,
I saw like little bubbles.
yeah,
I keep seeing the little
that's
pop-ups,
cool. I don't know how.
Hey Brian, thanks for checking out the show. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Brian.
Okay. All right. Brian's the bomb. Brian was a Brian Henry.
Yeah,
He's the
from
bomb.
Texas.
He's the bomb diggity. But yeah, I hate to say it, but mushroom hunting is gonna be hot this year. Catfishing is gonna be hot this year. Bow fishing for silvers. Woo, it's gonna be on fire this year. Like it's gonna be a good year. But I hate it. I hate that a flood. Like I hate that you have to have the bad.
You need to get some crappies to fry up with your mushrooms.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's one thing we have failed to get is a good crappie video.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we suck at crappie fishing. Okay, well, probably because the first time I learned to crappie fish was with Scott Guy. And he called me a lip ripper.
Yeah, Alyssa's out there catching crappie like this.
He was like,
All you
no.
see is that green spot going through the air.
He like took my rod. I can't even get a rod right now. I'm gonna hit it. Oh, that was close, huh? Yeah. He like took my rod and he was like, no, we don't do that. And I was like, what just happened? He's like, you're not catfishing. Don't do that. You need to sweep it. You need to sweep it. You sweep that crappie off. You don't rip its lips off its mouth. I thought, oh, and then God hasn't blessed me since that moment. There's no more crappie in my life. So eventually we're gonna get a good crappie video when I'm not ripping lips. I can actually bring them in. So
Oh, that's awesome. I know I won't have one of those videos either because I'm terrible at catching small fish. That's why
it's hard.
I'm the exact same way. You know, I can drop a line for a bluegill and have no problem, but when it comes down to jigs or any of the rest of it,
Yeah.
I've never been a pan fisherman. I
I'm
catch a crappie and I'm like, cool. You know,
Yeah.
I catch a bass, I'm like, no. But you know,
Alyssa likes
Hey.
bass.
Bass a good catfish bait.
if you can use that as bait, this way you can't use them as bait.
Well,
You can if you catch
leader,
them legal size, but the legal size is huge.
Yeah. Like I don't feel like you should like cut up a 16-inch bass.
Use that hole.
Honestly, I was gonna say use that whole thing
For
whole.
flathead? You can catch a 10-pound
15
flathead.
inches, Jeremy Greg.
You can catch a 10-pound flathead on a 15-inch fish. Guarantee it.
15 inches. That's bigger than a foot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of your ass. Okay, let's go watch. Let's go watch Jeremy catch a flathead on a 15-inch freaking largemouth this year, folks.
See, that's one thing I
if
wish
he does,
I
I'm gonna
had.
be so pissed. I'm gonna be like, "What? Whose idea was that?"
You probably get a lot of bad comments on your video.
Yeah.
I had like what 6 years
hated.
ago, 7 years ago, I was out fishing, and I wish I had the YouTube or the video thing going at that time. But I caught a largemouth bass, and as I'm reeling in, it's jumping out of the water. Boom! I got it to about 2 feet from the shore, and a flathead hit it. And it would have been so cool to have video wise.
Like that would be the neatest.
Yeah, no, he hit it. He took it, probably another 5 feet or so until, I'm like pulling back with the rod and pretty much ripped it out of its mouth. But it was the coolest dang thing ever. So.
Yeah, it was the coolest thing when I had a muskie hit a bluegill I was reeling in. So I can only imagine a bass.
Yeah. I've seen muskie like, I've watched muskie take down goslings and stuff like that, and you see all those things or whatever, but yeah, when you're fighting a fish and all of a sudden it just gets hammered by another one, you're like, what
especially when you're
heck
like,
just happened?
Especially like, so we were actually out there to catch muskie, but I was fishing for bluegill to use for bait for the muskie, and of course, the time I get a bite on the bluegill is when I'm reeling one in on a bait rod. And muskie came and grabbed it.
Yeah, we had all these rods set up with wire leaders, like to put the bluegill on, and the muskie got it on like
a bait rod with 6-pound test.
I just remember like screaming, grabbing the camera. Something happened with the tripod, and I knocked it over because like I knew something big was going on, but I was like, afterwards, I was like, so. Like, what just happened? Like, what did I just do to myself to see? He's like, well, that was a muskie, and it grabbed my bluegill. And I was like, wow, that's pretty amazing.
I've never
I have
caught
a big
one.
mess to go clean up now.
I've never caught a muskie, never caught a pike.
I still haven't. I've had 2 on the line now, and I haven't got them in.
I've had like 'I've had 4 muskie, and I know for sure probably like 7 or 8 pike.
Yeah, I caught one.
I've lost them every time. Every one of them's been an accidental, hookup. So
mine too. My first pike I ever caught was in a trout stream. But that trout stream led into a lake that had pike in it. For some
Yeah.
reason, that one swam way up the trout stream. And then second time was at Calamus. We were catching white bass to use for bait, and we were
Yeah.
just trolling with spoons. And I got about a 42-inch pike then. But them are the only 2 pike I've ever caught. I've never caught a muskie.
It's in my bucket list to, catch them or whatever. But I swear I'm gonna catch one of these times, and it's gonna be one of those accidental moments.
Oh yeah.
I'm never gonna be one of those 10,000 cast kind of people.
Right.
No.
I never caught a muskie, but I caught plenty of pike.
Yeah.
So you got some really good ones up that way though too, don't you? Especially around Sandusky.
I've never caught pike in Ohio. Always
No?
Michigan.
Yeah.
I do know that.
We got crab load of pike around here. I just never really fished for them in Ohio.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always been up in Minnesota when I went out fishing, had that accidental, I've never had anything with it down here in Nebraska where they hit something I'm reeling in, but yeah.
But yeah, we used to go to Michigan every year to go pike fishing. That's where I caught all mine at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always talked about it. I always thought about going after them. It's on the bucket list, but then all I ever hear from everybody is they're just slimy pains in the butt.
They are slimy, but they are good eating.
Well, I don't eat them either. I'm just gonna get slimy, and I don't mind that.
Y'all just need to go catch a good carp.
I hear you, Alyssa. I love carp fishing too.
I love it.
Yep, cats and carp.
Oh my gosh, who would have known? Not me.
Oh, carp!
I don't care what anybody says. These dirty bottom, whatever what everybody wants to say, but cats and carp are by far the funnest.
Oh my gosh, they're so fun. So fun. Yes, I'm like, oh, I need to go fishing.
My boys call the commons. They call them golden torpedoes, and the grass carp they call them freshwater tarpon. So we started going with that as the name for the longest time.
Grass carp are fun. Grass carp are very fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. One day I'll know the difference. I call the buffalo ones carp too, and they're not even a carp, are they?
No, they're suckers.
Nope. Yeah. The smallmouth and bigmouth, they're literally their own 2 species wise in the world.
Oh my gosh.
I remember my daughter caught her first carp. It was probably like a 16-inch carp, and actually pulled her down on the ground.
Yeah.
She's like, Daddy, I've caught a 40-inch striper. I've caught big catfish. Never got pulled down. I didn't think a carp could do that.
Oh my gosh, they're crazy. Like I have more fun with carp. I just can't even believe it.
Oh
I would
yeah.
have never thought that.
Oh yeah. I mean, they dart from one side to the other side to the other. I love it. I think they're
There is like nothing better than like a carp takedown on your rod because it's so aggressive and it's so big. No matter what size the carp is, it gets you jacked right there.
That's why I never could get into the pan fishing. I'm like, everybody that pan fishes, they talk down on the carp, and I'm like, what's so fun about a panfish? Every time I hook them, I literally go and reel, and they just come in straight at me.
Oh my god!
Like what's so fun about that? But you hook it to a carp, and he shoots 20 feet that way, then 30 feet that way. He's never comes in a straight line. How is that not fun?
Gosh. That's like me getting used to ice fishing.
Okay, green sunfish are a blast. So they
Okay,
if those things were bigger, oh my god,
that has big green sun use, and that's fun.
Yeah.
But that's like me trying to ice fish. I'm like waiting for the takedown, right? Like everyone waits for the big takedown. And like when you're ice fishing, it's like that. In this equivalent to springtime is like, like. Like that is equivalent to like I can't get this figured out.
I went ice fishing with a friend the one time after he did a lot of convincing to get me on the water. And I didn't have an ice fishing pole, so I went out with a regular pole.
Uh-huh.
And that only works out so well, but let's just put it this way. That was not fun by any means. There's a reason you have those little ice
Yeah.
poles that have all that bend in it, because
Oh,
those
yeah.
fish on a regular pole, when they're cold like that, no.
Oh,
You're like 8 foot away from your hole.
Literally.
you're like, I don't know. Well,
Well,
and
that to me, you don't
mine,
even see the tip or anything bend, because they're just, they're cold. They don't
oh
have,
my
they're
gosh.
lethargic wise, or the fight,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going with. I, couldn't tell you differently, because I went out with a regular pole and it was just like reeling in a leaf.
That's like when I stopped at the enclosed dock in Oklahoma. Like, first of all, the owner comes out and he's talking to me and he's like, well, I mean, I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to catch fish. So instantly I was like, oh, great. This is great. He's like, but, it's just like not season or whatever. So, like, okay, cool. I already don't know what I'm doing. So, like, the whole day, I just think this dock is swaying because it probably does. It's like floating in the middle of this lake. So then I meet these guys. I call them the Brandons because their names were both Brandon. And like, we're all fishing.
Well, that works. I mean, it's better than if they were both Kevins, but I'm just going to call them Brandon.
Right. But we'll go with like Brandons. But like, so the whole time I'm fishing, they come in, they like set up their stuff. And so like my line, like sweet, like the rod tip never does anything.
Mhm.
Ever. Nothing. Literally the line, and the line doesn't do anything either. It just goes like this. And they're like, dude, you have a fish. You have a fish. And I'm like, what? I'm like, wait, is that not like the dock swing? And they're like, no, like it's cold, like it's winter, like that's how they bite. I'm like, I've been sitting here for 6 hours getting bites.
Yeah,
Not
you're
even
right.
thinking I got bites, like not even having bait on my line. And like the second that happened, I would like the second I saw my line move to the side, I'd reel
Yep.
it in and there's a fish every time. But there was zero takedown. Like there was zero. Literally, it was just that sway. That's it.
Yep.
I was like, I'm no
That
good
was
at
one.
this.
That was one of the things I had the hardest time when it came to late fall and winter fishing. Was realizing I actually had a fish on at times, because they,
Yes.
you're so used to that spring and summer and early fall where they just still they hammer it, or at least you see that tip, at least you
Right.
still see
Like
something, yeah,
it's a definite fish.
Yeah.
100% real life fish bite.
yeah.
I hate that. Like, was that a bite?
No, I completely get you on that one. It took me a while
Or
to
like
figure that
those
out too.
big summer takedowns where you're like, yup, I don't
Yep.
even, it might be a 10-pound channel cat that eats a 5-pound bait. I don't know. They're crust little shits. But you could tell that it's a takedown.
Mhm.
Love it.
I get it.
Oh my
Well-
gosh, you're just tired of hearing me talk. You are.
I hear you talk all the time.
I know. I'm tired of it.
This is why
Jeremy's
I'm so
just sitting
quiet.
back like he does when you and Tiff are together.
Right.
Always. Always. He's just along for the ride.
Well, I mean, if you ain't got anything else, Terry, though.
Nope. I think I'm good. You guys good?
Oh my gosh.
Ready
it's
to
been
get
awesome,
some
you guys.
rest.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try this ice fishing thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So, you guys going out tomorrow then?
Yeah. Hoping so. It's gonna be freaking cold. Like the morning starts out like -4, so we'll wait a little bit. So
Give it a bit. So
Yeah, you
Alright.
guys couldn't have gone out the last 3 days, I mean,
yeah.
that was just, bad time to go out. I totally get going out tomorrow compared to the last
Right,
week.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go when it was 45, but
Yeah, who would want to go out in low 50s? No, let's go down when it's like 10 degrees.
What is in the background? Oh my gosh, it's a fish.
it's underwater.
Yeah, that totally looked,
Oh, that's when we lost our GoPro. That's what that video is.
Oh, yeah, down in Texas. Hey, there you go.
And that's what that footage was when we got the GoPro back. When the scuba diver claimed that got that GoPro back,
Yeah.
it was still recorded for a while underwater, and there's fish that kept
Right.
swimming up to the camera.
Like the catfish swam up to it. Yeah, that was actually cool.
That was really cool. When you were showing that video footage afterwards, or even telling me about it when you guys were coming back from there. Yeah, that
Like
was
Ad swimming by and Striper.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe Chris made me wait to see that footage where you casted the rod out of your hand. I was like, I can't believe he didn't tell me that. I can't believe he made me wait till that YouTube came out.
I still feel like you're a wizard because I don't know how it ended up back in your hand. It's like.
You're like, "Whoa. How did
I
that
wish it
happen
came
so
back
fast?"
like that. I had to get down. I threw it into the river there that I'm trying to just trying to reach down and grab it.
Oh my god.
It's not easy in a kayak and trying to reach down below the kayak.
It's like the one thing the guy was saying, like, don't try to reach for anything over the
Yeah. That is the one thing and your only thing you have to fear, Jeremy, when I get you out this year.
Yeah.
Don't try to touch the bottom of the kayak.
Don't do that.
But
No, Slim, it's all right.
we got a lot to look forward for 2025 here, so.
Oh
All right, guys. If you guys ain't got anything,
no, it's
it's been a blast. I enjoy talking with you guys. Like we could do this for hours and
I
hours.
know. This is why we do this. It's better when we're fishing, right? Like,
Yeah, seriously.
We'll have to do it again in a few weeks or next month or something.
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Let us know.
We'll keep you updated on our adventures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to watching those. I look forward to seeing the rest of this current series you're on right now.
Me too, because I haven't even seen it either.
Isn't it so funny? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. And
isn't it fun when you get to watch
like,
your own channel and you don't even know what's going to happen?
Isn't it funny?
I'm like, is this how Alyssa felt all the time?
It's like funny, yes.
You're talking about having to wait to watch me throw my rod in the water, yeah. But you're watching. You got your own channel, like you don't even know what's gonna come up.
It's so funny, but it's definitely like you guys have to say it's a lot of editing. You just get to relive that experience all over again.
Yeah, I don't mind editing my videos. I love watching back and getting to see, different perspectives of when I caught a fish or seeing different things that I didn't actually see when I was out on the water. I think it's cool. I enjoy it. If you enjoy the editing, it makes it a lot easier and more enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yep.
100% agree.
If you don't, okay.
Good luck to you.
Yep. But thank you guys for coming out.
Yep.
Thank
you guys.
We love
definitely
you all.
like to have you guys back on sometime and hear more about some of these trips and adventures. Another wicked adventure. That's
It's definitely a blast tonight.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. Until next time.
Stay wicked.
All right.
You guys are so good at your outros. Later.
Good night, guys.
Later.
Oh, I'm hitting rods again.